figured out what's wrong with me. Turns out every explanation my parents gave me for anything messed me up. I remember I was 8 years old. I go up to my mom and said, Mom, I'm really scared of skeletons. And she said, don't be scared of skeletons. You have one inside of you right now. And so parents usually mess up the whole birds and bees conversation. Now, it's not how the baby gets in there. They get that right. The technical part of that, most kindergartners get that now. It's how does the baby get out? And I remember my mom told me the doctor just reaches in and pulls the baby out. I'm the only 13-year-old guy I know looking at Penthouse magazine trying to find a zipper or a seam. A friend of mine who's an obstetrician's 14-year-old daughter asked him, how does the baby get out? And I was looking forward to see what he was going to help her with. And he said, well, what do you think? She kind of looked for a minute and she said, your throat? She still has an eating disorder. So now that I'm a parent, I have to look at what is my role model for being a parent. And I can tell you right now, it's not movies and TV. This guy Taken, right? I saw this the other night. They kidnap his daughter and he goes across the world and he's fighting the bad guys. And, if I get a call that one of my kids has been kidnapped, I'm like, the game's on. Come on, I'm too tired. Now, Amy Griffith? No. Peter Griffin. That's my guy, right? Cartoons, that's the standard that I'm trying to set for my being a parent. I mean, think about it. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, right? He has a little defect. His dad puts mud on his face, kicks him out in the snow, right? And then Santa, what a jerk, comes in and says, well, we had big hope for Rudolph. Guess Rudolph's gone, right? Charlie Brown? Charlie Brown and his little kids are sitting out in the pumpkin patch. They got all these shows, the Christmas show. They give them free mental health advice for crying out loud. Never saw a grown-up, never saw a parent. So I'm thinking if I don't punch my kids in the nose with mud and I don't show up for them, then I'm going to be a good parent. So I grew up and I became a doctor. The reason I became a doctor is I'm not smart enough to be an auto mechanic. Think about it. Auto mechanic, every car's parts are in different places. I take my wife's car and accidentally hit the horn, flash the lights, and if you flash your horn and lights in Atlanta, you could get killed. So I've got a bumper sticker on the back of my car that says, don't shoot, I'm still trying to figure out the buttons on my car. But there are a lot of things we've learned in healthcare to learn from auto mechanics. An auto mechanic, you come in for your 15,000 mile check, your car's doing great, next thing you know, you spent $900. We call that the annual physical. You go into an urgent care center, nice and convenient, but they can only give you flu shots or do a history and physical. We call that a Jiffy Lube. Some things are pretty obvious, like the whole transplant, engine rebuild. That's easy. Now, one thing we need to learn in healthcare to adopt from the auto mechanic is the concept of a blue book value, right? And that's where something's worth more than what it takes to fix it. Now, in healthcare, this is what that looks like. Timmy, grandmother broke her hip. She's been totaled. So I had to figure out what kind of doctor am I going to be. All right? Now, on television, the emergency room docs, they're doing heart surgery one minute, and then they're delivering babies the next, and they're giving brilliant, marital advice to some troubled couple. In real life, emergency room, nothing like that. So I can't do that. I've already told you I'm scared of skeletons. Can't be a radiologist. Now, gynecology. Can you have too much of a good thing? I like bacon, but do I want to be a bacon inspector? People come to me and say, is my bacon bad? Is there something wrong with my bacon? So I decided to be a general surgeon. Why? You get to wear pajamas at work every day, and you get to see people naked. We don't look, I know. The one thing about seeing people naked is tattoos. Now, I'm not talking about the beautiful, elegant pieces of art with the flowers and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about jailhouse tattoos, where they have a big pen and a needle, right? Hell's little angle, right? No regrets. A patient came in one time, young woman came in the emergency room, had this arrow pointing straight down her bikini line, and it said, Billy's, bacon, right? With one S, I might add. So we get her all stabilized. I go out into the waiting room, and this man stands up. I said, hey, you must be Billy. No, I'm not. The other thing about being a doctor is you get to work and be an intimate part of people's lives. Young man comes up to me, had sort of this vague groin pain. I thought maybe he had appendicitis or hernia. Do this real big exam. Nothing wrong. I said, I've done a thorough exam. I don't see anything wrong. He says, Doc, I need you to write me a note for my wife to tell her that if I don't have sexual relations on a regular basis, it can hurt me down there. I said, dude, if I could write a letter like that, I would have given one to my wife 10 years ago. You're going to have to wash the dishes and pick up your clothes just like the rest of us.